If I ask you what you do, your answer should not begin and end at your job. Hello, I'm Kayla. Welcome to this channel. I am building my dream life through creativity and introspection, showing you guys the journey so that you can learn from my mistakes and take in some lessons from my successes and build your dream life as well. Today, we are going to be talking about how your job is not your identity and you need to stop acting like it is. You need to stop acting like it is. Work is a means to an end. Your job is a tool. It is something that you do so that you can gain enough income to afford your survival. That's all it is. It is something that you do to get money, and you use that money to buy food, to buy shelter, to buy entertainment, to buy fun, to buy the life that you want to live. Your job is not the life itself. It is a very American thing to do. To when you first meet someone, hi, what's your name? How are you? What do you do? It's a very American question, and I know not all of my viewers are American, but a lot of you are, so I'm opening with this. Very American question, because it is a very American ideal to identify with your career. Career, we say in air quotes, because in the past 5 years, it has been almost impossible for anyone to maintain a meaningful career. Your job is subject to layoffs. My manager got laid off last week. Your job is subject to getting fired. It's subject to the government closing your job down. It is subject to unreasonable conditions that you just cannot stay in. Shout out to the teachers and nurses out there. It is subject to simply having to shift careers because after sending out hundreds of applications and getting beat out by somebody else's AI optimized whatever every single time, you just have to start applying for whatever you can apply for instead of what you actually want. Your job is no longer this thing that you build up for decades and you work at the same company for however long and you know the owners and you this and you that. Your job is just a series of often pointless tasks that you partake in for 40 hours a week so that you can get the money. So why are you accepting that as part of, or in some cases, all of who you are? I get that work feels passionate. Work feels personal because jobs ask for passion. And this is like a common thing in the interviewing practice and applying for jobs that they'll ask you, why are you interested in this particular job and why are you interested in this particular company? And you're not allowed to say because this company was putting out a job that I can do and I need money. You have to come up with something. You have to pretend like you actually care about this. And in knowing that you're going to have to pretend to care, maybe some small part of you actually will care. There's also the fact that work is something that you spend your whole life building towards. Your whole childhood, at least. You spend all of that time in school learning the skills that you will need to do things you don't want to do all day, like, having a job, and to put yourself in a position where you're able to go to college or trade school or whatever to get a job. School is just the prelude to career. Once career happens, it feels like there's nothing else. It feels like that's what you've been building towards for 13 to 17 years. But it's not. School is also so many things other than job prep. School is school itself, which is split into subjects, right? Are you a student who likes more of the math and science world? Or are you a student who likes more of the English and history world? You get your extracurricular classes or your, whatever your school called them, specials or something like that, where you're taking art, you're studying dance, drama, music, you're doing home ec, you're doing woodworking, random weirdo stuff that you felt like signing up for because it aligned with you. You're doing your extracurricular clubs and activities. Maybe you're on a sports team. Maybe you're in the student council, right? You have volunteer opportunities. You're getting a job outside of work. You're hanging out with your friends. You're going to dances. You're doing all of these other things with your existence. And so when you meet a child, it is not common to ask them, what do you do? Because you assume they don't have a job. It is also not common to ask them, what school do they go to? Because although school is the thing that they're doing for 40 hours out of their week, it's not the thing that they align themselves with. When you meet a child and you want to get to know them, you might ask them, what do they like to do? What do they do for fun? What sports team are you in? What clubs are you a part of? What do you do? And I encourage adults to think about themselves in the same way, because what you do should not begin and end at your job. I understand for a lot of us right now, what you do might actually begin and end at your job. You go to work, you scroll TikTok, and that's about it. But to that I say, you need to get a life. You need to find something else to do, because you are an entire being. I feel like we as a society have kind of forgotten what a person is meant to be, but there's so much more to you than labor. We have created this way of living that has existed for centuries, where labor is required if you want to continue to live. But that doesn't mean that it is you. It is your purpose. It is your source. It is anything worth noting. It is simply the labor that you're doing to sustain your life. Like, I struggle with the knowledge that so many people out there don't have any hobbies, don't have any interests, don't hang out with their friends, maybe don't even have friends, don't have a partner, don't have kids, don't have pets, don't have anything going on but their job, and that's what they see themselves as. Or even worse, that they do have all of those things, but even still, a portion of their identity sits in what they do every day just to survive. Nobody's identity is rooted in breathing, yet we're all doing it. So why do you feel that your job needs to be something that you consider part of your core? It isn't. Your job is always going to change faster than your identity can keep up with it. The tasks that you're doing day to day are not the things that you're passionate about. Even if you're an accountant and you love math and you love numbers and you love money, there's some part of your job that you do not enjoy. There are parts in there that do not align with you, that you do anyways because you must. But you wouldn't define yourself by those parts. And you don't need to define yourself by being an accountant. Define yourself as someone who loves math. Learn math in your free time. Teach a math class to students voluntarily. Go to a college course that is doing something advanced in math near you. Take your hobby, your enjoyment, your fulfillment into your own hands. It doesn't have to live only within the 4 cement walls of your office building. And ambition is not a bad thing to have. I think it is a core character trait, but ambition in the way that it only applies to work, that is learned. Productivity in the way that you are only being productive when you are doing something that earns your company money, that is learned. It is plenty ambitious to decide to take on a mini hobby project. It's very big, and say you want to crochet a sweater. Okay, that's going to take you a couple of months. It would be very ambitious for you to say, you know what, I'm going to do it in 1 month. I'm going to lock in and I'm going to crochet the best sweater the world's ever seen. I'm going to enter my sweater into the library's crochet competition, and I'm going to really go hard on this sweater. That's ambitious. It is productive to spend your morning cleaning your room. That's plenty productive. Why is it only productive if it participates in work? Why is it not considered productive to lay down and read a book so that your brain can rest? Why isn't resting your brain when your brain needs rest a productive thing to do? Sounds plenty productive to me. I'm tired of this sense, this cloud that hangs over everyone and tells us all that the only ways to properly be a person, the only way to properly contribute to society is to do work and to lose yourself in it. It is not required, and it is not recommended. I ask you, who are you outside of your job title? Think about if you were a child. Think about back to when you were a child. There was no way to align yourself with school. Maybe what school you went to, but that was really it. And that was never a question anybody was going to ask you about or care about, really. So it was only so much of a factor. When it came to defining yourself when you were a child, you had to pick something aligned with what you liked to do, who you liked to talk about, what your personality was, something aligned with some other part of you, a part of you that you enjoyed, a part of you that brought you fulfillment, a part of you that you were naturally or voluntarily, not something you were required to do. So who are you outside of your job and your title? If I ask you, what do you do? Can you tell me that you like to read? Can you tell me that you like to crochet? Can you tell me you like to go on hikes? Can you tell me you love to spend time with your kids? Find those parts of yourself, because those parts of yourself need to be fed just as much, if not more, than your job. And we're all letting them fall to the wayside. We're all ignoring them. We all put so much emphasis on our work. We all understand the importance of our work because it sustains our survival in a very one-to-one way. But having a sense of self, having fulfilling tasks in your day, having things that you enjoy also sustains your survival. So I encourage you to put some thought into it. That's all I wanted to talk about in this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. I am building my dream life. If you want to follow me along on that journey, press subscribe. I'll be uploading another video in a few days. So I'll see you guys then. Until then, toodaloo.